Hey, this is Tracy Smith, and guess where we're coming from today? You got it right. The working studio at CCMA in Carlsbad, California. That's where we record Girls Talk Rock show from. At Girls Talk Rock, as you all know, we are here to document the scene, and we are here today. If my husband will shut off his cell phone, this is why we always rock it live, because we'll go ahead and figure it out. All right, anyway, we're here today because we are going to interview a beautiful artist. Of course, we're here, like I said, to document the local scene. All right, we're here to document the scene because we want to make sure that everybody knows who the artists are and what they're doing. So I want to introduce you right now to the amazing, the beautiful, the spectacular Brenda Rayo.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome, Brenda Rayo. Yay, Brenda Rayo.
Thank you, Tracy, for having me to Girls Talk Rock.
I know. Well, we're so excited to talk to you today because there's so much going on locally. I want to get your ideas and your opinions on all kinds of different things, but I think where we should start is your history. Give us a little bit about how old you were when you first picked up an instrument, what instrument was it, and let's hear about it.
Sure. Real quickly, I'm from Ohio, Midwest, great place to grow up. I've always had a huge interest in music. There's always been a lot of music in my family. Uncle Bill, we'd go to Grandma's on the weekends, and he'd be sitting there playing his git fiddle, and the kids, everybody be jumping around and listening to music. And I think I always had that, childhood desire to maybe someday play music.
Awesome. And what instrument did you pick up first?
Actually, my first instrument was saxophone.
Well, there we go. See, because all kinds of artists always tell me, oh, I started on flute, or I started on piano, or I started on drums, but I didn't like the drums, so I moved to.
And that's kind of what you do. And in a small town, there's not a lot to do, farming or playing music. So we went into concert band, where I learned how to read sheet music, and also in marching bands. So you had to learn to be somewhat coordinated and manage to play your instrument at the same time. So that helped me a lot. I kind of grew past the concert band and the marching band thing in high school, and my brother was the one. Hello, Larry, if you're watching.
Hey, shout out to Larry.
Hey, Larry. Anyway, he influenced me to pick up the guitar. He came home one day, he was all excited. He's like, little sister, don't touch that guitar. And of course, what did I do?
Yeah, of course.
As soon as he left.
Right, because he leaves the house, he jumps in the car, he's going to go do his teenage stuff, right? With his friends. And what does Brenda do? Run into the bedroom, grab the guitar, start ripping on it.
That's right.
I'm sure ripping on it, yeah.
He knew every time that I would sneak in, and I know you've been touching. Just get your own, take lessons. But he really influenced me. Tom Ivers from Delaware, Ohio. They had a small music store. They taught lessons. I ultimately ended up working in the same music store.
Awesome. See, there we go.
The same one.
Right on.
So by the time I turned 16, 17, I wanted to play guitar. I went to work part-time in the music store. I talked my mom into buying me my birthday present.
Shout out to Mom.
My sweet 16 birthday present. I really wanted a car, but that came later.
Right on.
But I was happy with the guitar, sure.
So you've had that guitar for quite a few years.
Yes.
Okay, so now all the musicians name their guitar. So what's the name of your guitar? Have you never named it?
It's just my girl.
My girl. Okay,
it's my girl. What can I say?
We'll roll with that because this is Girls Talk Rock, however.
And
so
this is my girl.
There you go.
Guitar.
So we've got the girl to cover Girls Talk Rock. Anyway, that's awesome. No, I'm so excited to talk to you today because we're going to get into all kinds of different things with Brenda. But the first thing I want to know is, how long have you been in San Diego? Because you were telling me it's been a short time.
We are newbies.
Okay.
We just moved here last July. We're celebrating. We're going into our second year, Tracy.
Wow, nice.
And we've already played. We found some open mics. We're at the Aztec Brewery in Vista every Thursday night.
There you go. See, every Thursday night they got a really brilliant open mic over at the Aztec. You need to get over there and check it out because I have actually found 4 artists that I've booked subsequently from going out and seeing acts over at the Aztec. So that's a really good place. And shout out real quick to Scott Clayton, because we're going to talk about Scott Clayton, On Point Promotions. You know, he's super busy in town, and not only does he run the open mic over there, well, at least the board, right?
Yes, he's our sound man, and
right.
He'll jump in and play drums, or he'll get that bubble machine going, and it makes all the difference.
There you go. And he's really important in San Diego because he's also a booking agent, talent buyer like myself, and so we love to, and Scott's a good friend, so we love to say hi to Scott. Shout out to Scott Clayton over at On Point Promotions. Mm-hmm. And he's working with a lot of brilliant artists in town, so that's good. So you love the open mic. Tell us all about your open mic.
Before we came to San Diego, we had the opportunity to play a lot of, we used to call them open stage. In Ohio.
I like that better.
We like the open stage because you never know what you're going to get that way.
There you go.
But John had his first experience. He picked up bass. He's been playing for 2-3 years now. So we're a husband and wife team. So he backs me up on bass. He had his first experience on open mic. And I think he was a little bit nervous. We all get so incredibly nervous, you know, but it was worth it. And then ultimately I got to host my own open stage at the Dolphin Lounge. It was quite the hole in the wall.
There
you go. I won gigs from it. Then we moved here and we found the Aztec. The owners, John and Claudia, are super gracious.
Shout out.
Amazing. Thank you, John. Thank you, Claudia. We ultimately played the Strawberry Festival this year.
There you go. We love strawberries anyway.
Yes, Tristan found that gig for us. And but we feel really lucky. We're well received. People are just incredibly nice in San Diego.
There you go.
It's sunny and nice.
Everybody's happy. They're always either walking the beach or they're playing music.
Yeah.
And or they're playing music on the beach. I mean, that's the way it goes.
Great combination.
It is. So we love the open mic over at Aztec. Like I said, my husband went over there, did an open mic over there, and we just love everything about the open mics. There's a really nice one also over at the Navajo Second Wind, or Navajo Live they're calling it now. And that's Jeff Owsley, so shout out to Jeff Owsley. He'll be on my show coming up in, I think, November. And you guys should really get out to that one because it's a very nice, beautiful, killer open mic. Same kind of people go there all the time and play. But there's a really good built-in crowd over there, and it's really a community experience if you haven't been over that way. So that's in La Mesa. And most of the guests that I bring on my show and talk to about open mics all say the same thing. It gives people a sense of self. It gives people a sense of community. And it really allows you to get out there and do your thing. So open mics are super important.
Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of different levels, like why people go.
Right.
Like in the artist world, I'm an empty nester. I'm new to town. Raised my husbands and divorced my kids. So
there you go.
I have a lot of time. We're ready to play music, and we want to get back into the studio.
Right.
This is perfect for us to network and meet people. But I think there's some other levels going on there. Some like to go to the open mic, and they have no desire to record. They're doing it for fun.
That's right.
That's their Friday night out, or their night to just be fun,
That's right.
Instead of they work all day in that corporate world and they get to be rock star for 15 minutes.
That's right. That's right.
So that's another level. But I think there's that jump where this is what I really like, especially when I would host the open stage or open mic. We got to really push the new people and help promote them and say, hey man, you're doing a great job. We'll see you next week. And we would take pictures and they'd come back to see their pictures if they made the wall. And we didn't have cell phones. to take instant pictures. I would
Right,
actually
right.
go
So
to
you're talking
CVS
Polaroid.
and print the pictures. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Like the real
good old
deal,
days.
like this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
But just to support the new kids that really want to grow and make it someday.
That's right.
There's a couple kids that have come out of our open mics, like Katie Davis. I'll forget a name, but there's a lot of young talent that is, and the old school people better stay sharp on their game because there's so much young talent.
Right. And I just want to say, even if you're not a musician like myself, that doesn't mean that you can't get out and do open mics, because my husband, as you know, is a bass player, and he actually jumped on an acoustic guitar once, and we played the open mic when they had an open mic over at the Parkway Bar. Shout out to Katie Havlin Parkway and her husband. And that was my first time on a stage singing. It was the first time I ever wrote any material. I wrote the lyrics to all. We wrote 4 songs. I wrote the lyrics, got out there, I was able to sing. That was the first time he's ever played an acoustic guitar on stage, because he's a bass player.
Uh-huh.
That was the first time we ever played and did anything together. So that night, it was magic, because it was seriously like the first time. There was like 4 firsts. And we just had a great time doing it. It was a blast.
And you got to share the experience.
We
I mean,
did.
it's great.
I got to write and
That's
sing.
great.
So that was awesome.
Isn't
And
that
I'm a really
great?
creative kind of individual anyway, so that worked out good. I actually got to sing last week at what we called, it wasn't an open jam, they were actually jamming, but they invited us up to play and sing, so my husband got to jump up and play. And that's over at the Landing. Shout out over there to Steve, the owner, and Al, of course. I mean,
That is the well-kept
Rock and
secret.
Al, Rock and Al.
Shh,
So I
nobody
got
knows
to
about
get up.
that
I got to get up and sing rock and roll, heart style, and I just really got to kick it out and just have a lot of fun.
Did you do Kick It Out or Crazy?
No, I actually did rock and roll by
Oh,
Zeppelin, but the
very
way
nice.
Hart does it, because she's a female voice, of course. But so I mean, I just want to stress how important it is to get out to open mics and things like that, because it's so important. All right, let's next go to. Let's go to what you're doing currently besides the open mics, because I know you said you want to get into the studio. So,
Okay. I've already recorded a few short CDs. There's the Poor Little Country Girl. It's a tribute to my dad and the farm and all that.
cool.
So we made a video on the farm. It's on YouTube. Anybody can watch it.
Awesome.
So it is there. We also have live music that's on YouTube from our open mics.
There you go.
And these are some short CDs. We also want to re-record now that we're in San Diego and we're in better shape. You know, we walk the beach every day.
Totally.
We quit smoking those awful things like
Oh,
that.
yay,
Because we were
good,
on and off.
good.
We were cheaters for years, but we finally made the turn. So we just feel a lot healthier.
Awesome.
I feel like my voice is, you know, I can
Better.
hit some more notes I didn't
Totally.
used to.
Totally.
So
Makes
it's
a
time.
difference.
Yeah, it's time to go in and re-record. So I've got a handful of songs
Right on.
that I'm ready to record.
Now, where can we get any of your music? We need links.
These are available, like Poor Little Country Girl
Right.
is out there. I think Black Cat and Romantic Fantasy is out there, but we're gradually going to add some more.
And now, if we just type in Brenda Rayo, R-A-Y-O, on, I guess, YouTube, right?
Sure.
Things are going to pop up. So check that out. And then definitely go check out our Facebook page, because all the good happenings are going on over there, too. She'll keep you informed of everything that's happening with her there. Now, what are some of your favorite stages that you've played so far in San Diego, if you have played stages?
The Peabody is coming up. We
Mr.
haven't
Peabody's?
formally played on the stage, but
Right.
that venue I'm looking forward to, simply because I think you get a lot more of the public, and it's more of a dinner atmosphere, and they have certain theme nights.
That's right.
And since I'm doing a little bit of blues, a little bit of country rock, that is a stage that I'm looking forward to playing on.
Awesome, awesome. And shout out to Bree, right? Bree
Okay.
over at Peabody's.
Yes. And there's that Redneck Bar in Encinitas that we got to hit, the first bar.
Oh, the first bar.
And we're going to go see,
Well-
we're going to go see Who are we? Am I going to go see?
Tomorrow night, Scotty Blinn and Black Market 3 are playing at 9 p.m. over there at the First Street Bar in Encinitas, and I sent her out there because she wants to record an album, or at least a 3-song EP, and I sent her over, and I'm connecting her and Scotty Blinn because he's got a killer studio in his home, and he's one of the best master guys that I know, and blues, rock, country, it's all the same vein. He is super cool, super nice. His wife is amazing. Shout out to Roxy Blinn. They're getting ready to go on tour. I just can't tell you. This is so exciting because I just love to talk to people about what's going on locally. And we're here on GURLZ TALK RAWK to what I call rockumentaries. But we're here to document the local scene because I want everybody to know who the artist is and what they're doing. And I want to connect people. If I know you need something, I'm going to tell you where to go to get it because I know everybody in town, pretty much everybody. And for the best deal, so that it really works for both parties, right? So I think what I want to do right now is have Brenda pick up the guitar because I want her to play a song for you guys because I want to make sure you guys know who she is and what she does. So pick up your guitar and tell us, your girl.
Here's my 1976 without giving my age away.
76, can you believe it?
It's a 76.
Wow. And he's got a couple of basses that are like 70s and stuff. So
I'm going to pull up a leg here.
Good.
You know.
Tell us what you're going to play for us and maybe the title and how you got around the song.
I'm going to do one of the first songs I wrote. It's the tribute to my daddy.
There you go. Let's hear it.
Let's do it.
I'm
Poor
ready.
Little Country Girl. And the video is on YouTube. Daddy drives a John Deere, brothers have their trucks. Me, I'm in my days and dues, as if that ain't enough. Cowboy boots, long blonde hair, make it help but stop and stare. Oh no, poor little country girl, it's me. Poor little country girl, it's me. Yeah, you know what my daddy said. You gotta find yourself a strong man, one that you can trust. He doesn't mind a farmer's set while it kicks out all the dust. Driving tractor, baling hay, and after it comes he stops and plays. Hey, hey, yeah. Poor little country girl, it's me. Poor little country girl, it's me. Had my share of city life just for a while. Red lights and traffic jams, did I forget who I am? All the noise and confusion, fame and fortune, it's just an illusion. Don't want to be your city slick, this country is who I am. Whoa, country is who I am. Well, head out to the country where the air is clear. We'll go see Brother Larry. We're gonna drink up on his beer. Gonna have a party, really have some fun. The cornfields swaying and wheat fields waving, really having some fun, yeah. Poor little country girl is me. Poor little country girl is me, yeah. Poor little country girl, poor little
like to bring people on to the show because you would have never heard that probably anywhere else unless you went out to that open mic every Thursday over at the Aztec, and then you can hear Brenda Rayo over there. But this is amazing. Tell us about some of the awesome things you've done in the past and some of the awesome stages you've played on, because I've seen a lot of pictures and big time events. Give us some of those.
Well, we got some really cool, we super honored. We were asked to do a huge benefit for the Huntington disease. One of our best friends, Ron, I owe a shout out to Ron there. His family has been afflicted with that disease, and it's heart-wrenching.
Devastating.
It's devastating to the family, and we were honored to play the stage.
That's
and
awesome.
There was a lot of people there, and you had to be ready, and it was a sweltering hot day, and we're dripping sweat in the green room. We're like, we got to do this. But I mean, just to have the opportunity to help raise money, and all the donations went straight to that family, and they were, you just cannot see the heart that they're wearing on their sleeve. It chokes me up just to think about it. But to be able to do the charities and the benefits, that's where I feel lucky. It's not the big money making venue. If I can sell a song to Shania Twain, that wouldn't hurt.
Then you can give some of that money to a benefit.
That's right.
Yes. That's awesome. I know benefits are so important. It's all about community. It's all about, we say, support local. I've always had the tagline, #support-local. PlayCam is promote local artists, clubs, and musicians, SD. That's one of my Facebook pages where I promote all my stuff besides Red Giant promo. And I just want everybody to know that, you can give of yourself, and you can give of your time, and you can give of your energy to support local. I mean, you've got to get out to the local places, keep them open. If you know that a club is out there paying their musicians to play, go over there to that venue and support that venue, because they're paying musicians to come out and do their thing. I'm not saying don't support the ones that don't pay, but I'm saying it's more important that you support the local venues that are supporting the locals. So that's really important.
And either way, if it's free entertainment, even if you go in and spend some money at the clubs, that's key, because the club owners, they're looking. If people are spending money and having a good time, I think the band has done their job correctly. Speaking of a band, Exit 6, shout out to Exit 6. We got Milk Money. Our friend Randy also plays bass. And he comes to the gig, he shows up at the open mic as your husband does. He'll play an acoustic guitar. So there's always plenty of money to be made out there. I think an artist, when they get to a certain level, when they've put 30, 40 years under their belt, they've gone into the studio, they have their CDs, they've done their homework, they practice. So you got to practice and really pay your dues. But once you get to that level, don't be afraid to ask to get paid.
That's right. And we've been trying to change that in San Diego for quite a while, between all the promoters and all the musicians. We've been putting a little bit of pressure here and there on the club owners to just let them know that when you put 20 years into your craft and you've got, $10,000 worth of musical equipment at home, at some point you can't be looked at like you're a free entity. I mean, you have to be looked at like, this is your job, because, shout out to, of course, to Ron Houston, who was on a couple weeks ago. He is a working musician. He does not work a day job. That is his day job, being a musician. And they play 300 days a year, just to make ends meet. And it's kind of crazy, but, I mean, he's one of the hardest working musicians in town. But he does go over and do open mics from time to time, and he does do a lot of benefit shows. And, so we just had a friend last week pass away, Michelle Beaucamp, and it's sad that she's gone, but she was one of the huge supporters of local music, and we're just remembering her on the show today. Shout out to Michelle and her family. But so I mean, it's really important to support local.
Me too. I'm into it. In fact, everything I'm wearing today is from
tell
local.
Tell us about
where's
it.
my glass blow? We met Max in the Carlsbad village, and he was blowing glass rings. So I had to get my glass bobbly rings.
There you go.
Got a little jellyfish.
That's totally awesome. Look at jellyfish
So
on the
he's
inside
a
of the glass
diver.
bubble ring.
He's a diver, and he got stung by thousands of these little baby jellyfish. And then he's a glass blower. He thought, well, I'll just encase him in this fine glass ring.
Wow.
And then
That's
this is from Jackie, Jungle Hippie Jackie, Encinitas.
There you go.
Right.
Show it off, girl. Show it off.
It's from the bazaar when you drive down the 101.
Yes. Right on the left-hand side.
Right here. Right here.
Right?
And let's see. Oh, beads from Solano Beach. The bead lady.
There you go. Bead Lady, Solano Beach. Shout out.
And from the Mead Festival, yay!
Yay!
But I get a chance, stick some money in your. They like cash. Pay cash when you buy these things. But
of course.
Hey, spend a little money. It makes everybody happy. It makes the world go around a little bit.
Now, do you ever go out and do the local markets or anything like that? The markets on the weekends. The farmers market.
What's that one we went? I'm looking at my husband John over here. We'll bring him over. But we went to that one in Twins Valley, that one way east near Escondido, I think.
We'll have to look into that one because my husband and I go all of them. But
yeah, and then we do the quick one on Saxony. They bring that in.
There you go.
That's not real hard. La Costa Avenue in Saxony. That's on the way to the beach. So.
There you go. Well, come on now. On the way to the beach, you can stop by. That's what we're talking about, support local. Because there's all kinds of people that pay to have their booths there each weekend. And they're hoping that people will roll out and they'll like their product and they'll like what they're doing creatively. And definitely support that.
And it's a great time of the year with the harvest. You remember this fall harvest in the
Totally.
Midwest, huh? Tracy's
Totally.
I heard that Tracy's from Ohio.
Well, I was born and raised in Ohio. And then we moved to Arizona when I was like 5. And then we moved to California in the year 2000. So we've been here for quite a while, building our thing here, building our lives here. And my daughter, shout out, is over in South Korea right now teaching English. And we are getting on a plane tomorrow morning, and we're going on vacay to South Korea. You heard it right, South Korea. So next week's show, I'm going to put something online for next week's show. It's going to be live from South Korea. And I don't know what it is yet because I haven't seen the street musicians or anything else that's over there right now. But it's going to be something live from South Korea next weekend. And my daughter's going to help me load it onto my Facebook page from South Korea. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. And I'm going to give you something next week live from South Korea.
Okay. Be safe.
I can't wait. Oh, no, come on. Well, it's an 11-hour flight one way and a 14-hour back. But you know what? To see our daughter, to see our daughter and to spend quality time with her is going to be incredible. And they're actually going to be back next year, January, February. Their contracts are up. They've both been over there 4 years teaching English. And it's time to come home, start their lives, and get on. And her boyfriend, Rowdy, shout out to Rowdy Bossard, he's also a bass player. And I don't know if he's going to do that anymore. And I hope he does when he gets back, starts to play his bass again because it's really super important. I mean, your heart is music. So anyway, we're looking forward to it.
Just come back in one piece.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I want to hear a second song from Brenda because we love her style. And you're going to go a little slower this time, aren't you? Yeah, we're going to break it down a little bit for you because we want to hear the country girl. We heard the country. Now what are we doing?
Now we're going to step into kind of a romantic song.
There we go.
Since it's a full moon and it's the end of summer, I wrote this song about the same time just a couple years ago.
Awesome. Let's hear it.
So I'd like to share this one with you. It's called Summer Moon.
Perfect.
Someone's going to have to hold the ring.
Yeah, we're breaking the ring off.
This is called Summer Moon. Shining waxing brightly above the summer sky, like the summer moon, we started dancing. It was that summer moon, we started dancing, falling in love. Shakespeare's love, glowing faces, poet's dream. I know. When Romeo met Juliet, he didn't know the love he met yet. Oh, it was that summer moon, they started dancing. It was that summer moon, they started dancing, falling in love, they fall in love. Oh, planets align with potent pleasure, roaring rapture, yeah, it's coming out tonight. Virgo's rising, she'll be there, brightest planet, yeah, it's truth or dare, up in the air. It was that summer moon, we started dancing. It was that summer moon, we started dancing, we fall in love, we're falling in love. We're falling in love, we're falling in love.
Oh, awesome. Woo-hoo! Shout out to Brenda Rayo. That was awesome. So when I hear a song like that, the first thing that comes to mind is Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, right? Ventura Highway.
Yes.
Kind of like that feel.
Yes.
So tell me, who were your influences growing up?
Oh, you gave me away, Tracy.
Okay,
Yeah, you caught my
sorry.
number out. But that's so true. I love America. When we do our cover
America's amazing.
tunes, the horse with no name.
Oh my
you know,
God, I love everything from America. You know, growing up, I always thought that all the songs from America were done by other artists. Like I would hear one, and I would think that's the Eagles. And
That's the Eagles.
No, that's America. I'd hear another one, and I'd think that's Crosby, Stills, and Nash. No, that's America.
That's America.
That's
so
really weird, right? It's so true. They did so many good hits. Sister Golden Hair,
Sister
and
Golden
Tin
Hair.
Man. I mean,
Tin Man.
God, you know, that just takes me back to a time that I just love.
Definitely. That's okay. You got it. Definitely those.
She wiped out, but she's okay. She's gonna make it.
That was a quick minute.
She's on life support.
I don't like the bobbly thing. I'll start right here.
That's probably better.
Perfect.
So, Heart.
Yes.
Heart, young lady.
Heart. Well, you know,
Heart.
that the first album I ever got was Heart. The second album I ever got was Benatar. The
like
third,
that.
well, I might reverse this too. Fleetwood Mac. Those were my top three, and that's we wore out the 8-track for Rush, Back in Black. I mean, AC/DC. We were all about that. We were, you know, all that music from the 70s, and you know, we just wore out 8-tracks, and I say 8 tracks. Now we're going back a little bit, and then we went into cassettes, and then we wore out the cassettes, or they broke, and we'd have to splice them together, and we would miss like a portion of the song, but that's okay because the tape still worked. I mean, you know, it's reel to reel. You had to take a pen and you had to roll up the reel to reel. Yes, yeah, because they would get a little slack in them, and you know, and my husband used to go in the studio and record on reel to reel. Like back in the day, we weren't digital, we weren't, you know, analog. We were reel to reel, where you actually put music on tape, which was amazing.
Yes, some people actually are bringing that back. You know,
I know.
vinyl's cool.
I hope.
You got young kids playing vinyl. And
I know.
I've got my vinyl in frames on the wall, because Fleetwood Mac was one of my first albums that I bought.
Right.
I went running into that music store when I was 16, and I said,
Right.
Tom Ivers, we got to start a band.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do. And by
Awesome.
golly, we started a band. And when I was 16, we played our high school singing Fleetwood Mac.
Did you do a tribute or like a cover show?
Kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so a cover show.
Yeah, but we did the Fleetwood Mac and a little bit of Heart. The other girls had higher voices than I did, so
Of course.
I did the lower stuff.
That's cool. I've always been doing the lower stuff too. So as far as your influences, though, so when you go to write music, does your creativity take you back, or do you actually see younger artists doing different stuff nowadays, and do you write stuff that's what you think is newer, but still has that same kind of a background influence?
Ooh, tricky. But I'm gonna go with my gut,
Yeah.
old school reaction here. I think the younger people, straight off, they are going back to that music because there is no rock and roll without the Elvis, without the Chuck Berry influence. I know
That's right.
I'm over half a century old, but that's kind of what my parents were listening to. We were listening to Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Chuck Berry, and then suddenly things started happening real quick in the 60s where we had this Bob Dylan, and I have my Bob Dylan book. It's like poetry to me.
Right.
And that is influence. That's how I write songs, based on this experience. It's like the history of rock and roll where I gained that because I love Elvis and the Beatles and the Eagles. Anything that walks, crawls, or flies. But I know that's kind of
Talking about the Eagles, my mom always wanted to go to an Eagles concert in like 79, I think it was. No, maybe it was 84. I can't remember. But I think around 1984. She bought us all tickets. And there was a huge concert at ASU Stadium. And at the time, it holds 72,000, I think 75,000, something like that.
That's a lot.
And it was the most amazing concert I've ever been to in my lifetime because every single person in that audience sang every single word to every single song along with them. And you just could not, the ethereal just feeling that you had, just, it blew your mind because it was 70,000 voices singing every word to every song because we all knew all the music. And it was the most amazing experience I think I've ever had at a concert. And I've seen some good ones. I mean, you know. Yeah. I'm just saying, Rush, Pink Floyd.
Did you save yours? I saved my tickets.
I saved all my ticket stubs.
But I don't go anymore. I can't.
No, I do. I have all my ticket stubs. They're all in my photo album. But I just love to be taken back to an earlier time. And that's what Brenda's music does right there for me, because just from a listening perspective, and a fan. I'm a fan. And that's just, I gotta have it. I gotta have it.
It makes me feel good. Like I don't know, when I play the country music, it gives me a feeling, a different feeling, perhaps.
On the farm,
sure. I can smell those green grass and the country air. Sometimes, raising cattle, it wasn't
there
so
you
great,
go. Well,
and then the cows.
So you get a song that stinks, and then you make it better.
Yeah.
Right? You rewrite it a little and make it better.
But I like the jazzy songs. It's very chick songs. We're gonna write romantic stuff.
Right, or you think.
Or hate songs, like wait till you really irritate one of us or break our hearts. You're gonna get the lowdown.
You're gonna get the song.
Like there's gonna be a "Don't Say You Love Me" on one of my CDs. That's one of my chick hate songs. Let's see. I don't do a lot of hate songs. Let's see if we got.
No, that's good.
This one is Longboat Key was written in Florida on the Gulf.
Right.
At Longboat.
Well, that makes sense.
I went to the beach. I said I'm going to write me a song, and there's the sunset and the birds, and I had me a little song.
Floating around. There you go.
Yeah, but I think we're all influenced. People, places, and things. Yes. Some of these involved a little recovery.
Right.
Like because our family, I think every family in America has been
through something because we're all
through
human.
something.
Because we're all human, right?
We're
We
all
make
human.
mistakes. And
Yes,
we
all
fall
make
and
mistakes.
we get back up. And
So even with my kids, I'm not saying anybody, I'm not naming anybody's name.
no. Shout out to nobody.
But you know, we've all been through something, so
Right.
we have those people, places, and things.
Yeah, of course.
That's hard. That's hard to get past. So
Right.
a lot of these, every song has a deeper meaning to it.
Right, of course. I mean,
Of
that's,
course.
And when people write, they write from their heart. They
Yeah.
write from their experiences. They know
Absolutely.
what's going on.
So I
Yeah.
do tribute songs and stuff like that.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm going to hear one more song from
Okay.
Brenda, and then we're going to
Simply
bring
song.
John, her husband, in because I want to just talk a little bit with John too before we end the show, and so that everybody can know who he is and what he does as well. So tell us what song you're going to do for us last, and then we'll bring John on afterward.
Alrighty. I'm gonna, speaking of the blues, I'm gonna play one of my blues songs I wrote. It's a true story about bad luck. John plays the best bass line in this,
Right on.
but his is in the shop, so we're gonna do this acoustically, just kind of the way
That's
it was
cool.
written. It's just a fun little song. Seems like I forgot to introduce it. That's a true story.
Cool. Let's hear it.
All right. Oh, black cat, don't you cross my path. Oh, black cat, don't you cross my path. I see you sneaking down the alley. Black cat, get out of my way. You take those black highways and get on out of here. She broke a hip, she broke a bone, she broke a hip. Now tree for on home, ain't got the blues, baby. Ain't got the blues. 'Cause if it weren't for bad luck, she'd have no luck at all. Right, John? Hey, get on out of here, black cat. Go on down the end. I see ya. Oh, black cat, don't you cross my path. Now, black cat, don't you cross my path. I see you sneaking down the alley way. Oh, black cat, get out of my way. You take those black highways and get on out of here. She broke a hip, she broke a bone, she broke a hip. Now tree for on home, ain't that the blues, baby? Hey, ain't them the blues? Because if it weren't for bad luck, she'd have no luck at all. Oh, black cat, don't you cross my path. Oh, black cat, don't you cross my path. I see you sneaking down the alley way. Oh, black cat, get out of my way. You take those black highways and get on out of here. Come on, get black cat.
Awesome. That works. That works.
Thank you.
So we heard a countryside, we heard a blues side, we heard a rock side, we heard a mellow side. This is cool, right? Brenda Rayo. I gotta just say, it's awesome. One thing I really like is I like the dynamics of how you play your guitar. There's a soft part, there's a loud part, there's a crunchy part, there's a just all kinds of different stuff thrown in there. It's like a big bowl of vegetable soup you just love to sit and eat all night, right? Because it's got a little bit of everything.
It's got some meat potatoes in there.
Totally. I think we want to bring John in right now because we want to talk to him and we want to get his perspective on this music thing that we're doing here with Brenda. And yeah, come on in, sit down, John.
Thank you. Thank you very
All right, cool. So this is her husband, John.
My name's John Nemchek, and I've been married to Brenda for a little more than 2 years now, but we've been together for about 4 years, and I had a unique experience with her because she was putting together a band when we first met, and her Perfectly Human band back in Ohio. She had a drummer and a lead guitar player, and of course she was playing guitar and singing, but they were having a hard time finding a bass player. They'd interviewed several people, and nothing was really working. And I was just laying around the couch one day, and she came in and said, how about you wanting to learn how to play the bass? So,
Tag, you're it.
Yeah, I picked up the
Awesome.
bass, and within a month or so, we were already playing shows, and I had cards laying all over the floor of the stage with notes and songs on them. And at the same time, I was taking bass lessons, and had a chance then to get right out and start playing with a real band. So had a blast doing that. And like Brenda said, we came to California about a year ago, and we've been playing some of the open stages you already discussed. And personally, I like to play the songs that Brenda does. We do a lot of cover songs together, and then Brenda does a lot of shows with her own stuff, and we have a lot of fun.
And when did you propose to me, and where?
This is a good story, too. Yeah, I proposed to Brenda on an open stage in Ohio.
Yay!
We finished our set, and I took the microphone. I said, hold on just a minute, everybody. I got something I want to announce to everybody. And with my bass in one hand and a ring in another, I got down on my knees and proposed to her right in front of the crowd.
That's cool.
The guy that was hosting the open stage said, this is fabulous. We've never had anything like this happen, and I've been hosting stages for 20 years. So, yeah, we got
hello to Billy Zed.
Pretty slick, John.
On the open stage. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's a good story.
They supported us, Billy Zed and all the people that ran the open mics, and Nyla Stats, one of my best friends that live in, she lives in Colorado now. She pushed me every day to get these songs recorded, to get that beginning. I had to have somebody push me a little bit because I'm a procrastinator. I really am. But
well, you know what? And I always say it's all about your legacy. It's not about being born or dying. It's about what you leave behind. And if you've made a positive mark on society, that's what I believe highly in legacy. So you have to do the right thing every day, as we know. That's awesome, you guys. So you have not been playing very long then.
No, I'm a newbie, a couple of years already.
It's really cool, though.
Yeah, but with a band that was already working, I got pushed right into it, and that's probably the best way to do it. Just jump right in. And like Brenda said, we've done a lot of open stages, especially back east, and there's no better place to get to play and try to get rid of the nerves that go with it and everything else. So it's wonderful.
My husband's been playing for X amount of years. I'm not going to say how many, but every time before he goes on stage, he can't eat because he's too nervous. And it's kind of really weird that way because you would think after 40 years of playing music that you wouldn't freak out, but people still, it's not even as much freak out as it is. Just, you get the nerves, you get the butterflies, you get
the excitement.
Yeah, and that's right, anticipation.
Now you're just antsy.
Yeah, antsy, there you go.
Fidgety.
But you just want to make sure you want to get up there and put on a good show, and you don't want to make any mistakes. And I said, look, that's what live's all about. Live is about mistakes, Live is about being human. No, if you were a machine, that'd be great. You get up there and turn on a recorder and
push the jukebox,
right? And we always talk about backing tracks and how we like them or we don't like them. But every band is different. You've got to either play from your heart professionally, or you turn on a recorder and you have some backing tracks because you just don't have that sound that you're looking for or that keyboard that you need, and you can't afford to pay another player. And I understand that. But it's kind of cool that you waited. I mean, you're never too young or too old to learn something new. So if you continue to learn every day, that's the important thing. But
I think, and also being able to work with a person like Brenda, and she's a fine musician, and we practice at home on a daily basis. And
I'm glad this is recorded.
And
Keep
we
going.
and we work up our set each week, and we work on them together. And sometimes, we get on each other's nerves a little bit, but in the end, it really helps a person like myself that's just starting out, and makes me feel confident. And she's a wonderful performer to be with on the stage as well.
awesome. So tell me about collaboration, because that's another thing. So if you have an idea, say you wake up one morning and you've had a nice dream and you've got this little thing going around your head, do you present it to her and say, let's write a song using this?
Absolutely.
Because my husband writes on the bass all the
That
time,
one,
but
yeah.
doesn't get his own stuff out there too often because he's playing with a band where they're doing covers or whatever. But I always encourage him to get out his original music and put it down on tape. We got all these little mini recordings, but
Well, that last song Brenda played, we call it Black Cat Blues, was a song that I was working on with my bass teacher back in Ohio. We were working on some 12-bar blues, and we were just throwing some stuff around, and I brought it home to Brenda, and we played it a few times, and she goes, I bet you I can put some words to that. I've been working on it, a song anyway, and we put the things together, and it turned out nice, and we wound up recording that on one of Brenda's albums
It's like
there.
magic. Yes.
We went down to South Carolina to a studio down there, and we worked for about a week on putting a couple songs, 3-4 songs together, and that was one of them. But really, that song came from just lessons that I was taking, and I brought home, and she heard it, and said, you know what, we can put words to that and
Yeah.
make it work.
And meanwhile, one of my musician friends was going through some bad luck, and everything in that song really did happen to her. But she made a recovery. She's perfectly fine now.
that's it, ups and
But she
downs.
went through bad times, and we got a great song out of it. John learned how to play bass, and sometimes with bad luck, you got to turn that bad luck around.
Totally amazing.
But Brenda's always working on new stuff at home, and I join in with her, or we'll just go back and do some covers. But we try to work on stuff on almost a daily basis, so I can keep learning and getting a little better each time.
That's awesome. Well, we're so happy that you decided to pick up a bass, because they always say that you don't find the bass finds you. And if you're a really good bass player, the bass finds you. Trust me.
Well, like Brenda tells people, he was just laying around on the couch doing nothing anyway, so we turned him into a bass player, and I've been thrilled to be playing and practicing with Brenda all the time.
That's awesome.
Thank you, John. He's always, not saying that. No, I'm glad. I know you love that. And we can be our own worst critic and just beat ourselves up if we make one mistake and come home after that. The open mic going, why did we miss that one note? I'm like, John, it's the beauty of the open stage.
That's
And
right.
playing live.
If you're gonna mess up,
where
that's where you need to
Well, that's right. And that's where you get out and you perfect your craft. Not
Yes.
even perfect. Perfect's not even a good word. You just make it to where you feel comfortable playing it in front of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's totally different, as everybody knows, that playing at home and then playing in front of a crowd. You get all nervous.
Totally
Your
different.
leg starts to shake a little bit. And,
Your palms are
you're just
sweating.
like, can I just get through this part? Just let me get through this part. And then when we finish up and walk off, you get a big smile on your face and a
There you
feeling
go.
of pride.
I found that people that have huge egos are the ones that are not nervous about going on stage and not nervous about making mistakes. But it's the ones that are humble and cool and, not really so worried about their ego and how it's going to be bruised if they do make a mistake, are the ones that, can handle that when they do make a mistake. Because I've seen huge stars. We've seen huge stars crash and burn in front of millions. And it does kind of kill your career a little bit when you're that big. But they learned a lesson from it. Maybe go back and practice with your band 4 or 5 or 6 times before you get in front of, say, 100,000 people or whatever, if you're going to play a big show. But it doesn't matter big stage, small stage. It's all creativity. And it's all a learning process, and it's all about fun. Life is about fun.
And I just want to say one quick thing. We found that since we moved here to the San Diego area, the people are very supportive and very friendly, and they encourage you to play. And if you make a mistake, it's like no big deal. Just keep it going. Just keep trying and do a good job. And everybody here has just been so supportive, and we're just thrilled to be here.
Yep.
And hopefully, if you have good musicians in the band and you do make a mistake, they can pick up the slack a little bit.
Yeah.
And they can recover the song so that no one even really noticed the
Nobody
mistake.
notices.
Yeah, and here's the funny part. He's catching up to me. I will make the mistake. He'll go, you messed up that line. I'll be like, no. I used to be the tack master. Now we watch out for each other.
That's
right.
Like, how can we tighten
Teamwork.
up the song? Yes. How can we improve this song? Sure, we got over this week, but let's improve it for next week.
Right. And the important thing is practice within yourself. Because Lee sits home and he practices, 4 nights a week, at least a couple hours, within himself. And then when he gets with a group of people and they decide to play as a band, then the band will be a lot tighter because you've actually tightened up your own.
Absolutely.
Your own thing, yeah.
That's what I found out. If I, say in our band, the Perfectly Human Band, if I didn't know my lines, the band behind me would fall apart. But if I knew and I had done my work, if I'd done my homework, our practice would go so much smoother and quicker.
Right.
So if we do spend that time, the quality time on ourselves,
Yes.
and we can grow every day. Like, I'm not really a lead guitar player, but I did manage to pluck out a couple little lines,
There you go.
I have an exclusive.
What's that? Oh, we got an exclusive on Girls Talk Rock right here.
Our lead guitar player is coming out next week, and he's going to be at our open mic on Thursday night at Aztec.
There you go.
We'll be playing as a trio.
Oh my God, that's exciting, right?
And maybe we can get him in the studio while he's here. Scott, possibly.
Well, if you contact Scotty Blinn, I know he's leaving for his tour, but I don't know when.
Might lay down a couple quick tracks.
If you make arrangements with Scotty Blinn, Black Market 3, he's got his own studio in his own home, and I'm hooking these guys up with him because they want to cut a 3-song EP, and he's amazing. Just saying, shout out to Scotty Blinn and Roxy Blinn because they're amazing. Then maybe you can make an arrangement with him to have the guitar player go over there and lay down a bunch of guitar parts.
Yeah.
And then you go back in and lay down your parts.
Later, yeah.
Yeah, later. That's what I'm saying. If you can't work it out, maybe you can work it out where you can all lay it down together at the same time, and it'll sound a lot better. But you can always punch in and punch out,
Exactly.
But that's what's so cool about local and supporting each other, because Scotty Blinn's an amazing blues man, and they're going over on a huge tour to I think it's Germany and Europe, and they stay over there for a couple of months, then they come back and do their thing back locally. So that's an amazing musician that can do that. So shout out to those guys. All right, what do you want to leave us with? Because we're at the end of the interview.
Do you want to talk about?
Well, we just, Brenda and I love the fact that we're here at the coast, and we go down to walk the ocean, the beach all the time, and we make sure that we clean up as we go the beach. We take our little bag along with us, and anything we see that doesn't belong to the ocean, we pick up and bring back and make a big a point of leaving the place nicer than when we got there.
That's awesome.
Cool.
That's tremendous.
Okay. Well, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
So
It's been
much. What a pleasure.
Wonderful hour.
Super great. I've been looking forward to this next step in our new adventure here in California, and
We look
just
forward
can't
to
wait
it.
till the next day.
Yay.
There we go.
All right, well, I'm just going to end this show by saying that I'm Tracy Smith. This is
Brenda Rayo.
And this is.
I'm John Nemchek.
And we all together are
Girls
Talk
Talk
Rock.
Woo!
And we will see you next week somewhere live from South Korea, Seoul, South Korea. All right. Have a good one.